Hello, and welcome to Skills to Pay the Bills. I'm your host, Tia Young. We have a great segment for you today as we continue our discussion on small business development opportunities in the nation's capital with the Small Business Administration Leadership, affectionately known as SBA, and its resource partner, SCORE, and lending partner, Eagle Bank. Please welcome returning guests, Antonio Doss, SBA District Director for the Washington Metropolitan Area District Office, Libo Suen, SBA Economic Development Specialist, Marketing and Outreach, and first-time guest, Alisa Sheard, SBA Small Business Development Specialist, 8A BD Program. For the second half of our show, we will continue our discussion with returning guests, District Director Antonio Doss, Walt, Abbott, Certified Mentor and Outreach Coordinator, Washington, D.C. SCORE Chapter, and Shanton S. Kittler, Eagle Bank, Senior Vice President, SBA Assistant Team Leader. So let's get started. Hello, how are you?
Doing great today.
Well, thank you so much for coming. I know how busy your schedules are, and I'm really grateful that you took time out to come and share with us today.
It's our pleasure to be here.
Good. Well, Mr. Director, we're going to get started with you first.
All right.
The Small Business Administration was created under the Small Business Act of July 30, 1953. Its primary function was to aid, counsel, assist, and protect the interests of small business matters and to ensure small businesses a fair share of government contracts and sales of surplus property. Has your organization evolved since 1953? And if so, is it the same or has it changed quite a bit?
Yeah, over that time, it's been quite a bit of evolution for us. A lot of it has been about how we deliver our products and services and our programs. So initially, we did a lot more things directly as an agency. But over the years, we've really reached out to a lot of resource partners. We've developed better relationships with banks and non-bank lenders. And we basically have taken a collaborative model and a collaborative approach to how we help reach the small business community. And so things that we've done include more delegated authority, say, for example, for our lending programs. We've given our lenders the flexibility to use our programs, use our products, our loan programs and products, and deliver them with less upfront involvement of SBA. So it means a quicker, easier response.
That's a big change, right?
That's a big one.
Large change, yeah.
That is. And we've also done a lot in terms of similarly with our contracting activity. So there's a lot less people who are needed at SBA to get the work done that is important to the small business owner.
Right.
So those kind of things have been really, really important. And we continue to evolve. You know, one of the other really big distinctions is that we're probably much, much less of a order-taking type of an institution where people just ask us for things and we provide it. We're more proactive, more focused on business development and outreach.
Right, I like that. Well, talk to us a little bit about your leadership team. Of course, you have two of your leadership team here with you today. But I'm curious to know, do they stay behind a desk all day, on the phone and meeting with people that come into the office? Or are they out there hitting the streets, spreading the gospel about SBA, the mission, the product, and the services?
The answer is both. Yeah, actually, there's a good bit of our work that requires us to actually review and approve applications and for example, contract awards. So within our 8A program, our 8A Business Development Program, we have firms who are getting contracts with other federal agencies. We as an agency and as an office have to actually approve those. So this year already we've approved over $2 billion in awards, and we'll get hundreds of these offer letters each year. Wow. So if too many of us are out doing things in the field, we can't get those approved.
That's true.
But on the other hand, we're really aggressive about getting out, making sure SBA is a known resource, that our programs and products are known to those that need to be aware of them, and that we're building those partnerships and relationships which allow us to do our work even more effectively.
Right, right. Well, Alisa, it's your turn.
All right.
Tell us a little bit about what you do and about your role in SBA.
So I am one of the new supervisory business opportunity specialists in the district office. And so my role is to lead a team of business opportunity specialists that service 8A firms. So these are companies that have applied for SBA's program to carry this certification. And this certification allows them to get business development assistance from SBA, as well as to pursue contracting opportunities with the federal government that are just for those firms with this designation. So my role is to, one, advise and help educate, and also make sure my team is fully knowledgeable about changes at SBA or rules that they should be aware of, as well as meet with firms and go out and spread the gospel, as you said. So I go out to different resource partners, explaining the program, as well as teaching firms about why they should participate in the program.
How many members on your team?
Currently, well, my specific team is 5, but we have about, what'd you say, about 12 now?
15 actually.
Oh,
Yeah,
15.
15.
Yes, that's right. We've added some new faces to the office, which is great.
That's good. Yeah, that
Great.
is
So we
great.
have 15.
Now, and this is me speaking personally. I have found for myself to try and grasp the 8A certification program and the basic content of it. It's been a little difficult for me to do that. Can you talk a little bit about that and try to
Sure.
simplify it?
Sure.
Because I think it's a complicated program.
No,
It's
at
not?
the very simple level, it's a business development program. It's to help businesses grow and really learn all the things that they need to be successful as a federal contractor. So it is a compliance component related to the SBA's rules, but there is assistance with helping them understand accounting, understand the human resources component, understand proposal writing, all of the different things that you need to expand your business, as well as being successful as a federal contractor, are within the 8A program. So it's a tool to help you be successful.
Right. Thank you. Libo.
Welcome
Welcome back.
Thank you for having me again.
Thank you for coming. Tell us about your role in your division, what it does.
Sure. So as an economic development specialist on the marketing and outreach team, our team primarily is the face of SBA. We're the ambassador, or you can call the foot soldiers for the SBA. We try to promote all SBA program to our resource partners, to our regional community business partners. And my role within the marketing and outreach team specifically focus on the international trade and veteran business development.
Right, right. Well, I can tell you one thing. I really, really like the resource booklet. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Okay, sure. So this is a new version of our resource guide. This is a national SBA resource guide. We're going to have the local SBA resource guide for the Washington, D.C. district office coming soon. And the local resource guide will feature our contact information, so anybody who has questions about SBA can reach out to any one of us. We'll have the program description, as well as all the product or the local resource partner information.
Oh, very good. I love the covers. The covers are always nice. Now, is this free, or is there a cost for this?
It's all free. It's
It is all
taxpayer funded program. If you're a taxpayer, it's free.
Okay, all right. I like that. So my next question to Director Doss. I believe that there are 3 types of small business entrepreneurs, at least in my business and what I do.
Right.
These are the 3 people that I run across mostly, and I'd like you to give some words of wisdom to this. The first type that I run into are people that are thinking about going into business. They had dreams ever since they were little kids, but they're terrified to take that first step.
Right.
So years pass by and they don't do anything, and they're angry on the inside because they're too afraid to take that first step. The second type, they did take the leap and they're in it, but they're struggling, and it's a day-to-day thing. They're wondering if they made the right decision. Should they call back that boss and see if they can get that job back, that full-time job back? I run into a lot of people that are in that predicament. A lot of times they didn't have enough money when they started out, and just things that you don't know what you don't know, And then the next type are those that are flourishing. Maybe they had a rich uncle or something that left them some money, and they get out there, they get started, they're almost at that $10 million mark. What kind of advice? What would you say?
Well, a common set of advice for all of them is about planning, strategic planning.
Yeah.
Really thinking about what is it that you really want to do and how are you best able to do it. And you actually just hit on a point that was really important, which is sometimes you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
And so one of the most important things I recommend business owners do is try to figure out what they do know really well, what they know a little bit, and then also recognize those things that they don't quite know that well. Because if they don't understand all these aspects of running a business, there's going to be a limit to how successful they can be. And so whether they're starting at the beginning and they don't know certain things, or if they're fully engaged as a $10 million business and yet they know there are still gaps in their knowledge banks, then they need to figure out how to shore those up. And some of that is through advisory support. Everybody needs a coach, somebody to help them get steered and directed, and we've got great resources such as our SCORE organization, which really our SCORE mentors jump in and help people understand how to navigate, prepare, and successfully work through any of the challenges that come their way.
Right. And after the break, we're going to meet with the SCORE.
Excellent, yes.
We can talk a little bit more about that. Alisa, I have a question for you. Women and minorities. Talk to me about what is available for women and minorities under 8A, or is there anything available for them?
Yeah, well, the program is created for socially and economically disadvantaged individuals, and that often falls under women or minority individuals. There's also the Women-Owned Small Business Program that SBA has, that many of our 8A firms also use that certification as well. So there are programs definitely available for those groups.
So what is the best way to get, because I recently had a woman to tell me that she didn't know how, that she had tried to contact a number, and someone did talk to her, but for whatever reason she was terrified to go down and speak to somebody. I run into that so much where people are just afraid. They just afraid.
Well, we definitely don't bite.
So. I know you don't.
We
that
don't.
was
We're
what
very
I told
friendly
her. I
people.
said, we don't bite.
No, I hear that a lot. I think some of it comes from building confidence and believing in themselves.
Yeah.
A lot of women groups that I speak with, I hear the confidence issue, and I just want to encourage them to be brave, to try it out. It's the worst that can happen is someone give you a great answer.
Right, that's right, that's right.
And I think keeping in mind that we literally exist to help people understand the issues that they might be facing and help them overcome those obstacles, whether it's an internal fear or a planning piece or a capital piece, whatever it is, that's our role of being there to support the businesses. We want to be your go-to resource as a business owner for any challenge that may come along. That's right.
That's right. Libo, talk to us a little bit about some of the marketing tools that SBA has that could be helpful.
Sure. So we have a variety of options for the small business at any stage of their development, of their cycle. So for the export, we have 6 steps to help small business export. And we have a free assessment a small business can take to assess if they're ready and they're willing and capable to export their business.
So this is like going global, for those that want to go global.
Going global.
Okay. Yeah.
And we have our flagship program called Boost to Business, specifically designed to help the veteran community as well.
The veterans community.
The veterans, the
talk
military.
A little bit more about that.
Yes, the Boost to Business was a pilot program started in 2012, and now it's a fully funded program, and this is specifically designed to help active duty personnel transition from military service to civilian should they want to start their own business. And this program has been existing for 6 years, and it's very successful.
Right. Well, I want to thank Libo and Alisa so much for coming on.
Yes.
We're going to take a short break. Of course, you'll be joining us after the break, and we will be right back after these important messages.
Minds can achieve anything. We make sure they get to college. Federal student aid provides more than $150 billion in grants, loans, and work-study funds to make college possible for anyone with the mind to get there. Because if given the chance, minds will do great things. Federal Student Aid, proud sponsor of the American Mind. Learn more about money for college at STPTB.gov.
Welcome back. You're watching Skills to Pay the Bills with our special guests, SBA District Director Antonio Doss, Walt, Abbott, Certified Mentor and Outreach Coordinator, Washington, D.C. SCORE Chapter, and Shanton S. Kittler, Eagle Bank, Senior Vice President, SBA Assistant Team Leader. Thank you so much for
welcome.
joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks, actually, for you guys. This is all three of you. You're returning guests, so thank you.
Old school.
Oh, right, that's right. Well, we're going to get started because I have a lot of questions here. We're going to start with Director Doss.
Great.
What value do your resource and lending partners bring to the table? Because my thoughts are, without them, you'd be missing some critical links. I don't know if that's a true statement or not, so correct me if I'm wrong.
No, it's a really, really important role that both our lending partners and our resource partners play in terms of helping a business grow. For many, many of our businesses, they do know certain things about what they're trying to accomplish, but without the advice, the sage wisdom that comes from one of our SCORE mentors, for example,
Right.
they're able to understand how to manage their business operations better. They're able to learn from the lessons that the SCORE mentors encounter on a daily basis as they work with other businesses, and they have from their own business experience.
Right.
And very similarly on the lending side, our lending partners really help our help our businesses get a loan that they wouldn't be able to get without working with our lending partner through an SBA guarantee. So they're both very, very critical. Capital is always a big item for businesses.
Right, that's right.
King.
We're going to start with Shanton now. Shanton, what is Eagle Bank's role as a lending partner? And also if you talk a little bit about your role.
So as a lending partner, primarily what we're responsible for is, just as Antonio said, is that if we have someone who's either trying to start a business or is already an existing business owner and they need capital, whether it's for working capital purposes, equipment, they want to purchase a building, that's what we do. We actually do the actual financing for that particular thing that the borrower may need. So that's pretty much what we do. And we're responsible from taking the process from A to Z, and because we're preferred lenders, we actually do approve it on behalf of SBA.
Right. I think it's great that Eagle Bank has someone like yourself assigned directly to SBA. I don't think that was the case maybe years ago. At least I wasn't aware of that. I'd say maybe 10 years ago. I don't know if it was set up like that.
I'm not sure if it was set up like that, but I think
that's
it's
really good.
Yeah, it is a great thing because SBA is not a direct lender, so they have the ability to approve loans. So we do have the other half of that, which are those who are not preferred lenders, and they have to go through the underwriting process directly through SBA.
And when you say that SBA is not a direct lender, that means that you don't have the money. A lot of people think that SBA has all this money, but is that right? Is that a true statement?
A lot of people think if you want an SBA loan, you come to the SBA.
Right.
The truth is, if you want an SBA loan, you go to a bank or a lending partner of SBA, and they make the arrangements for the SBA in conjunction with us.
Okay, very good. Walter, I ask you the same question. If you will tell us all about SCORE and then your role in SCORE, within SCORE.
Well, SCORE is an organization, Tia, that has been around for 52 years, but it's probably one of the least known organizations throughout the country. We provide free mentoring to small and startup businesses, and the free mentoring is not limited by one event, but is an ongoing process as long as the client is interested in working with us. We have workshops that are germane to the various things that the bank or that the client needs. And my role in the SCORE operation is the outreach coordinator. So my primary focus is on spreading the word, teaching people about SCORE, letting them know who we are, what we do, how we do it, and how we support the SBA.
Right. When you spoke about going out mentoring and teaching and spreading the word, I have two brochures here that I thought were really interesting. And if you would share a little bit, this first one is called Local Workshops and Mentoring. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, we put out one of those brochures every year, and it lists all of the various workshops that we have. We're constantly adding new workshops and changing the workshops somewhat, but the key thing is that gives us a list. Now, given the fact that most people, especially the younger people, are no longer interested in paper,
True.
we have on our website, we have a list of all of our workshops, when they're coming up, where they're going to be held, and how you can register to participate in them.
Okay, good. And then the second is called Let's Score Help You for the Life of Your Business. Build, grow, and thrive. I like that.
Well, that's just the summary of what I said about, or that's an elongated version of what I said about the SCORE operation. We're always working to help the small businesses, and we provide mentoring assistance. One of the things that is really critical, though, Tia, is that so many people think because it's free, it's probably not all that good.
Yeah.
Well, we have some of the best executives in the DC area who are on our SCORE activities, so it's an excellent facility.
Yes, I agree with that. I've met some of the SCORE mentors that you have, and they're friendly and very serious, but they don't mince words. I mean, they look you right in the eye and they tell you what it is that you need to do. And I know I've had to call a couple and say, you were right. I didn't listen. I didn't think that was the right thing for me, but you were right on that end.
And just to add to that point, so not only are the SCORE mentors there to help a person who's trying to start a business, we've got some really highly successful businesses, 10-year-plus old businesses that are doing really, really well, that still on a regular basis for the life of their business, they're engaged with the SCORE mentor getting that next level of coaching and support.
So it's not just for the startups. I mean,
No,
you can
not
be
at
in
all.
business, and that's that. Now that part I didn't realize.
Yeah,
I thought you graduated out of school.
Well, a lot of people do, but they seem to come back occasionally, you know.
Right.
And
That's
and,
good.
Well, they're looking to hire people, or they're looking for other things that are slightly different from their existing business, and then we can give them advice on how to go through that process.
Right. Director Doss, what is your personal commitment to your role in SBA?
Well, it's one I really, really enjoy. People say, what job do you want next? Well, the job I'm in now is the job I enjoy the most because we, at our district office level, we really get a chance to really touch the businesses. We get a chance to see what's happening in their life, their development, and their growth. And we essentially live vicariously through the business owners. Most of us have not gone the entrepreneurial route, but we're helping entrepreneurs be successful. So it's really a big component for us to be able to do that. And our commitment, really my commitment, is to be the best SBA, the best U.S. Small Business Administration support that we possibly can be for all businesses, whether they're currently using our programs or products or services, whether they're attached or not attached to any of our resource partners. We want to be there to help be a catalyst for the growth and development of the Washington metropolitan area as a dynamic small business marketplace. And that requires a lot of collaboration, a lot of work together, a lot of strong commitment, which is what I have and which is what our team has.
It's really a beautiful statement to hear that you love your job like that.
Yes.
There are a lot of people that have been in their jobs for a long time, and they're ready to go.
We still have things to accomplish, so it's
That's
yeah,
great.
it's
That's
good.
great to hear.
And I'd add one thing, that he does it so well that they transferred him to San Francisco for a while because they desperately needed his assistance. So
Right, that
kudos.
speaks well.
Yeah.
Shanton, two questions for you. One, I have this commercial loans and lines of credit. Can you talk a little bit about this brochure?
So that brochure is actually for the bank as a whole, and it basically just outlines some of the products that we have. And when you open that particular one, the inside of it, it does give some breakdown of our SBA product. So, commercial lines of credit and commercial term loans, they're just a product. And so this is just a kind of a quick glance of what the bank actually offers to the clients.
The whole thing, yes. And the other question, you have a slogan that I just love. It just touches you right in the heart area, and that's relationships first. Can you talk about that?
Absolutely. Relationships are how we all get along, right? And I love the slogan too because it stands for flexible, involved, responsive, strong, and trusted. And that's all the ingredients that you actually need to have a viable partnership with your clients and with your customers. And so they just indicate all the things that we strongly believe as a bank, and I strongly believe as a relationship manager, that you really need to help small business owners.
Right, that's right.
Yeah.
I have another question for you. This is kind of hypothetical.
Okay.
So when a small business owner comes into your bank and they request a $40,000 working capital loan or a credit card from you, what should that business owner bring to the table? Would the requirements be the same thing if they say only needed $10,000?
It may not, the underwriting process will probably not be as stringent because there's a big difference between 10,000 and 40,000. But the basic things still you actually still need, which is a personal financial statement. You need the last 2 or 3 years of your personal tax returns. If you're an existing business, we're going to need the last 3 years of the existing business tax returns or financial statements. If you're a new entity, then we're going to want to see pro forma statements. And really the difference is in how we underwrite a deal.
I had one person tell me that the bank required that they bring their lawyer and their CPA. I had never heard that before. Is that required?
Never heard of that either.
CPA.
No.
So I think that's what scares people. They think they got to do.
Well, I've never heard of that before
either.
either.
But that's what he said. He said he was required to bring in the lawyer and the CPA.
No,
that was weird.
That would never happen at Eagle Bank.
Director Dawes, I know that we're about to embark upon National Small Business Week.
Right.
Can you talk a little bit about the concept of that, and then I would want to know what kind of activities you guys are planning to do with that.
Sure. So National Small Business Week, every year, the first week in May, the President declares as National Small Business Week, and it's a time for us to recognize our small business owners. We actually at SBA recognize the Small Business Person of the Year, and we have several other categories. So it's a big event for us because we get a chance to actually really give a hats off to those folks who have done so well. And then at the same time, we're doing lots of different events, workshops, training, and such. And some of those are jointly with our partners here with SCORE and with one of our top lenders at Eagle Bank.
That's good. Walter, I had one more quick question for you. We're almost out of time. Let's see. Oh, I know. I wanted to ask you and Shanton before we ended, your personal commitment to SCORE. How do you feel?
Well, I've been a SCORE volunteer for 11 years, and I think that speaks for itself. I get much more out of it than I ever give, so it's well worth it.
Good. And Shanton, what is your personal
I
commitment
believe in
to?
small business, so I'm 150% committed to making sure that small business owners get the lending that they need.
I thank you all so much for coming today, and you're invited back anytime. I mean, I have so many questions here that we didn't get to because of the time. So I invite you all back again.
Thank you.
Real soon.
Thank you
so
Tia.
much.
Yeah, thank you, Tia.
Thank you. Thank you for watching Skills to Pay the Bills. We hope this show has encouraged business owners across the nation, and particularly along the DC, Maryland, and Virginia corridors. We invite you, small business owner, to pick up that phone and call your local SBA district office, your SCORE Resource chapter, and your area's lending partner. We also want you to visit the SBA website and see for yourself how easy it is to navigate. While browsing this site, be sure to check out the events and activities for National Small Business Week. I am Tia Young, wishing you a fantastic Small Business Week. Bye-bye.